Welcome to English for Professional Mechanical Engineers. My name is Yiju. I'm so happy to have this chance to speak to you about practical presentation skills. And this is the sixth section, the final one of the unit. As you may know, this is the outline of the whole unit. It has two parts. One is presentation signpost expressions. It has been finished between the section of 2 and 5. Right now, we are talking about the second part. It is handling questions in presentation. In the first half of this part, shown on the left column of this slide, we learned about the right attitude and how to give a proper acknowledgement to the question. Now, we are ready for the question. So, we will move on to handling questions. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. First, I will divide the questions into three kinds. Understood but difficult to answer. Understood but irrelevant or impossible to answer in the time available. We do not understand the question. Then finally, after answering the question, we can check if our answer is sufficient for the audience. Right, I will introduce the first kind of situation. The question is understood, but it's difficult to answer. We may start the talk by, perhaps. You are not 100% positive about the answer. Therefore, you say something perhaps. Or you may use the sentence like, I would say something. Again, you are not very positive about the issue. Next, you may use it could be. Okay, it could be. You may say something according to experience too, like, in my experience. In my experience. Again, you are not very positive about the answer at this moment, but you try to give some opinions based on something you know. Sometimes we really don't know the answer. As I mentioned in the previous video, the advice. Tell the truth and don't say anything you will regret later. Therefore, you can say something like, I don't think I'm the right person to answer that. I don't think I'm the right person to answer that. Moreover, I don't think it's a shame to admit that we don't know the answer. Just be honest. Or, I don't have much experience in that field. I don't have much experience in that field. It is totally fine to be human, and we are allowed to be imperfect. Besides, you can also call for help. You may offer a candidate who may be able to answer it. It is extremely helpful, especially when the person is also in the room. You may say, probably Mr. Someone can help. Probably Mr. Someone can help. For example, he is your supervisor or the research partner. Okay, so what is the next? Well, I will talk about the second kind of situation. The question is understood, but irrelevant or impossible to answer in the time available. It's a trouble, right? What can we do at this moment? First, keep calm. You will remember that I said, tell the truth. Therefore, you can say directly, sorry, I'm afraid that's outside of my talk. I'm afraid that's outside the scope of this section. In addition, you can recommend a person to help this question by saying that, if I were you, I'd discuss that with someone. If I were you, I'll discuss that with someone. Finally, we could run out of time and cannot answer it right away. Therefore, we can say something like, I'll have to come to that later, perhaps during the break, since we are running out of time. I'll have to come to that later, perhaps during the break, since we are running out of time. Show your respect to the listener's question first. Then you will be able to end the presentation and discuss the question later. Sometimes the question is not understood. It's so easy to panic at this moment. But please remember that. Keep calm. It's important to keep calm, especially in this moment. And you may just say, sorry, I'm not sure I've understood. Could you repeat? Sorry, I'm not sure I've understood. Could you repeat? It's a very polite way to ask them to repeat the question. Or you may say, I didn't catch your question. Or I didn't catch the last part of your question. Then they will repeat the question. And it's okay that you may ask them to repeat the question many times. Usually, they will also clarify the question when they are repeated. It helps both of you identify the problem. Okay, so that is easy. You just select them to repeat the question. Sometimes you have catch some points of the question, but you are not sure. You may clarify the question by asking, do you mean something? Do you mean something? Are you asking if, or are you asking about something? If I have understood you correctly, you mean something? Is that right? If I have understood you correctly, you mean something? Is that right? This is the politest way to clarify the question among the three sentences. After answering the question, you would like to check if your answer is sufficient. You may ask them, did I answer your question? Did I answer your question? Is that okay? Or is that alright? How do you see it? How do you see it? Do you need more detail? Do you need more detail? Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied? These are all good sentences to check if they are satisfied. So, that brings us to my last point about handling questions in presentation. In summary, we have talked the following topics. 4. Understood but difficult to answer. 5. Understood but irrelevant or impossible to answer in the time available. 6. The question is not understood. Finally, checking if your answer is sufficient for the audience. So, finally, this is the end of the section. So much for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you have learned something useful from this lecture. Have a good time and see you in the next one. Goodbye.